Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer. Last episode, we went through exploring and doing what we could down here in the southern part of the Ashenwood. Managed to find out about this blight over here, which we can solve, but in order to do so, we need to go elsewhere. We also found out the reason for the, well, we happened to find the hunters here, who were dead, and happened to save one of the berserkers over here from a priest of Malar. Also cleared out a cave. Now, we still got one more place to look at, and that's the Burning Grove over here. Let's see what we can do in there. Yeah, that's burning. Definitely burning. Where are we? Oh, we're right here. Well, at least there's a way to the world map from here. This blaze is natural. We must do something to put it out. Large charred branch. That may be what we need for, whatever it's called. Shape of fire. What's this tree? It's bark cinders. Let me see here. This large branch has been charred most of the way through by a forest fire. You found these bark cinders amidst the wildfire raging in Ashenwood. As evidence of the forest's need, they will make a suitable ingredient to the anointing potion you will need to petition a god. Use activated and point and target the liquid component. Okay, so that's what we need. That, the blighted leaves, and the pure sanctuary water. Put it together later. What's this charred branch for, I wonder? Well, anyway, shape of fire. Felt your presence, felt your birth, felt it loose my bonds. The time approaches, the time approaches, the time approaches. You felt my birth? Was bound in a red place, a place of fire, only heat, only scorching. Then a disturbance, a cool breeze. He is awakened, he is awakened. The time for what approaches? Scorching vengeance, burning wood, dying forest. His end is near, his end is near, his end is near. Whose end is near? Forest spirit, forest essence. Met him once, now will again. He'll pay at last, he'll pay at last. What are you? Was a man, now a form. Was a soul, now a shape. Shape of fire, shape of fire, shape of fire. Why are you burning down the forest? Burn the grove, burn the spirit, burn the jailer. Draw him out, smoke him out, draw him out. Are you talking about the Woodman? Sent me from here, sent me from life, sent me to burn. Undying pain, undying heat, undying pain. Why would you deserve such a thing? Helped many to find him, all was well. Helped you to find him, earned his wrath. He hated you, he feared you, he hated you, he feared you. You can't mean me. You must mean someone else. Perhaps it is speaking of another spirit eater that once shared the same curse. To its eyes, you are merely a vessel that contains the same hunger. Same grove and you return. Weakened him once, now have again. You are the key. You are the key. You are the key. I need you to stop burning the woods. It has made the Woodman too weak to return. I am going to put out these flames, like it or not. A wise decision, little one. This monstrosity must be extinguished. Fought icy hag, fought winter itself. Almost lost, then you drew near. Found my strength. Icy hag? I've heard that whispered by my less gifted students. She fled east. You'll lose too. She fled east. Then I will seek her out and learn your weaknesses. Fled east. I have a feeling I know exactly what that's supposed to be. Let us go. We have a traveling to do. The Burning Grove? No. To Immel Vale. Let us go. We haven't lost much. Ah, good. Oh, great. Wyverns. Not on the plus side. Kill the wyverns. Yes, on the plus side, we can actually do another suppress. We just need to provide some spirits. Right. I can't rest before I do a suppress. More wyverns. Hopefully there are some spirits around here. Plus side, these wyverns, pointless as they may be, are relatively easy to kill. Excellent. I see more wyverns down there. I also see the red tree. There must be more to this place. Oh. We would have a word with you, cursed one. Come forward. Let us look upon you. Who are you? A fair question, I suppose. Ironic that he should ask it of us. Quite. But I see no harm in giving an answer. I am Imshai. This is Tamleth. Hathrans, right? In life, we were Othlor, the pinnacle of our order. But the higher one's rank, the higher their duty. A day came when we realized ours exceeded our own lifetimes. But our prayers were heard, and the gods permitted us to stay as Telfors. What do you want? To put a face to a feeling. Your hunger is like a vortex amidst the flow of spiritual energy. We feel its pull from a vast distance. But the threat of that hunger cannot be known without seeing what countenance it wears. Well, here I am. What do you make of me? You have approached your hunger warily. You fear its costs, but unleash it freely in times of need. In this, you are especially dangerous. Your apparent restraint may earn the trust of many, but who can say you'll use it when it matters most? I agree, Imsha. To trust him fully would be to invite the hags to tea. A word of advice, cursed one. There are many who will have designs for a being with such destructive power. Most will hide it. Ask yourself, such that remains, what it is that you believe, not the strangers you meet, not your companions, not your hunger. You. What do you hope to achieve with the time you have left? Have you known other spirit eaters? Only a handful, yet far too many. Always drawn to Rashomon, it seems, like any beast that catches the scent of fresh prey. Inevitably, they follow it to Ashenwood, where the aroma is strongest. Makes them likely to pass this way, either coming or going. What can you tell me about them? Many of them meet their fates in the Ashenwood. It is a wild place, and it has a sense of self-preservation all of its own. But they have done damage there, wounded the forest like no one else can. They have brought sickness and upset its natural balance. Don't forget the one with the guide. You remember Imsha. He'd hired that tracker to take him into the heart of the forest so he could live off the soul of the woodman himself. What happened to him? Well, he certainly made his mark on the woodman, but ultimately he got the worst end of it. Not like that tracker, though. No, far worse than the tracker. Quite right. The woodman considered it a betrayal for the tracker to lead a spirit eater to him. Anyone who wanders the forest freely does so only with the woodman's trust. Couldn't tell you for sure what became of him, but the rumor was that he'd been imprisoned indefinitely on another plane, and not one of the nice ones. I have other questions. What do you wish to know? Let's see... Oh, we have a lot of questions. What do you want? Oh, we have already done that. Have you noticed anything strange going on lately? He must mean aside from a walking incarnation of hunger traveling through our lands, Imsha? No doubt Tamlith, although I suppose the bear would qualify. Ah yes, the bear. She certainly would. Bear? She's a hag, really. An ice hag. Wherever she walks, winter follows in her footsteps. The Hathrans drive her off every year. This year they lost track of her somewhere in these parts and assumed she'd fled for the mountains. But you're not sure she's gone? The snow she brought. It stayed longer than it should have. Well after the Hathrans left. Normally the Vale is too warm for it. If you should run across her, would you be so kind as to remove her? We would very much appreciate it. I'll keep an eye out. She should be easy to track. We do it ourselves, but we can't stray far from the tree. Just look for signs of winter where they don't belong. Noted. I'm looking for the woodman. Ha! You'll forgive us if we don't draw you a map. Of course, what Tamlith suggests would be difficult regardless. His presence in the wood has been declining, you see, since the last time he was paid a visit by one of your... breed. If the woodman is in decline, how come the forest is attacking the garrison then? If that's true, then it wouldn't be his doing. Whose then? To put this simply, the woodman is an embodiment of the spirit of Ashenwood, but he is not all there is to it. These woods are primal. They have instincts. If he is absent, who knows what other aspect might rise up to fill the void? Very noted. Oh, what's that gigantic rock over there? The Moss Stone, it's called. Nothing special about the rock itself, but it's said that those who sleep in its shadow experience fanciful dreams. Prophetic, some claim. Very few who take interest in it, save the odd pilgrim or tourist who comes this way, but some swear by it, and return often. I think it's somewhere over there. That might be it. Gnarlthorn sent me here. I'm supposed to petition a god to remove a blight in Ashenwood. It must be some blight to come all this way, but he has steered you correctly. Our tree is strongly attuned to the spiritual and the divine. It is a conduit of sorts. Words spoken at its base may reach ears across the plains. That is, if you have their attention. So how do I petition? Have you anointed yourself? How do I do that? Use the anointing solution you assembled, assuming you have it, pardon me. Sprinkle it on your forehead. If its makeup is to your god's liking, you will have his ear. What do I do after I've done that? Then it is simply a matter of touching the trunk of the red tree and begging favor. Know that the gods listen only to those who are respectful and whose plight they deem worthy of their attention. They have no time for trifling matters or rude petitioners. Noted. And finally, what can you tell me about Nadaj and Delenka? I found Nadaj to be very bright, didn't you? Yes, precocious, without question. We only met her the one time during her trials, but she did impress. She'll go far, I think. It surprised me when I'd heard they'd stationed her with Delenka. Such different personalities. but I suppose there is a lot Nadaj could learn from her. What do you mean they have different personalities? Nadaj excelled in her military trials. She was hasty, yet her strategy was always sound, brilliant at times. Ultimately, though, her success is dangerous. She has not learned the wisdom of caution, which is a quality Delenka possesses in excess. Tell me more about Delenka. Delenka is very wise, and her judgment has always been impeccable. She is not well liked among her sisters, but it is only because she has a reputation for being prickly and bookish. If she'd been one to play politics, she could be pulling the strings of the Iron Lord in Imilmar instead of standing post at a garrison that hasn't seen real action since the last time they invaded. If she has a fault, it is that she is too quick to second-guess herself, and thus slower to act than she need be. If you ask me, she's at that outpost because she's afraid of failure. Thank you. Farewell. Alright, I'm gonna save before I petition. First thing, though, I believe I'll get a bonus if I suppress next to you. I don't know if I got a bonus. Let me try doing so away. Give me a sec. So now, if I suppress way over here, far from those two... Somehow that gave me more. I don't get it. But okay. I'll take it. Let's see here. So, if we anoint ourselves with the blighted... If we put the blighted leaves and the bark cinders in there... Alright, and now, if we anoint ourselves with the solution... You stand before the red tree that Gnarlthorn spoke of. It emanates an unmistakable energy. Place your hand on the tree. What do you pray? Shantea, great mother of the land, divine warden of all that grows, know that the Ashenwood is stricken with a powerful blight. Grant me your blessing that I might reverse the damage it has wrought. A sudden flood of warmth embraces your body, and you feel for an instant as if the ground has been taken out from beneath you. You are floating in a place removed from time or space as you know them. The pangs of spirit hunger recede, and you know relief for the first time since you awoke in the Barrow Cavern. Wherever you are, you suffer no longer. At once, the world rushes back in to fill the void, and you are at the tree once more. Your hunger remains. Nothing has changed, save that in your hand you now hold an extraordinary crystal bottle. Your prayer has been answered. Blessed salve of the earth, Shantea granted you this powerful balm when you prayed at the red tree. It may counteract the blight that has infected Ashenwood. Good. That's what we need. Now then, let us continue exploring a bit. We have a little bit more time left. And of course, there's more wyverns to kill. And a cave over there. Really didn't need to do that. Oh yeah, that is definitely the rock that they were talking about. That goes back to the world map. Don't care about that. More wyverns to kill.
To the death!
For some reason, they were all facing the exact same direction. Icy, interesting. Yes, icy snow, which implies the icy hag is there.
It will die by my hand.
There we go. icy hag must be up here. Doesn't look like there's anything else to investigate, so... You know what? No, we have a little bit of time. This will be a short episode. Hopefully this cave isn't too long. There are many of my kind, my mother's kind. They are as numerous in hue and power as the elements, and their disposition as varied as the emotions and rages of the human mind. So we're facing a hag, the one within. Her spirit lies upon the cold edge of ice, I suspect. The heart of winter beats within her chest. A dangerous thing indeed. This creature, this bear, they thrive in cold and they use it as a weapon. Anything that shields us against a winter's chill would help us in the battle to come if we choose to fight. Her kind are also vulnerable to weapons of the sky. Thunder and lightning are twin blades they fear. Acid bubbling from the earth also scalds them greater than most. What do you mean, if we choose to fight? Isn't she hostile? As you may have noticed from my own tendencies, we hags, even half-hags, are a talkative people. It is a form of self-flattery to go on about oneself, no matter what the subject. And from what I know of women of my kind, they tend to prattle on more than most. That's all I need to know. Let's deal with her. Thank you. And there's not much to this place, aside from more ore glashes. Very curious. Kaji, can you unlock this? Interesting. And there's a chest in here.
Yes.
Oh, there's a few of these.
Yes.
+1 longsword.
Yes.
Fairly simple. This one as well.
Your command.
Someone has woven spirits of elemental cold into the very walls of this place.
Indeed. Kaji, if you don't mind, unlock this one.
Yes.
+3 warhammer. Oh, it's something. Known that would have been Gnarlthorn's sacrifice. The Red Wizards had attempted to capture various forest spirits to corrupt their will, but Gnarlthorn led a charge against the Thayids and succeeded in driving them off. These bracers were forged from woven branches that had broken off from Gnarlthorn during the pitched battle. Immunity to level and ability train and heal.
Come this way.
+4 bonus. Interesting. We have more glasses.
Visitors? But you didn't send a messenger to let me know. Oh, this place is a sty. Humans everywhere. If only I had a bit of notice. And look at this thing I'm wearing. Hideous. It's impolite, you know, dropping in on an old woman unannounced. How can I possibly be expected to look halfway decent?
But you're a hag. Your skill with words in tandem with your powers of perception have not lost their power to underwhelm me.
Well, aren't you the charmer? But you're a hag, he says. As if there was something I could do about it. It's a wonder you're not traveling the countryside with 1,000 adoring fans in tow instead of standing here badgering an old crone for me for the gods know what reason.
I met a fire... So what is an old crone like you doing here?
Well, it isn't for this ghastly landscape, I'll say that much. I don't understand how anyone can stand such a detestable climate for more than a few seconds without fleeing for a nice snowy peak or glacier somewhere. But here I sit, wasting away, absolutely blistering in the sweltering heat. And does anyone care? Does anyone ever ask me how I'm doing? Of course not. Why would they? I'm a hag.
Well, how are you doing?
I'm miserable. I can't leave, not with those two old bats at the red tree watching day and night. They may be dead, but they've still got connections. If they find me here, every half-friend between here and they will be on my doorstep. Probably unannounced, too, like someone else I know.
What made you pick this spot?
The temperature may be unbearable, but it's really all I can do. The mountains here, curse them, are volcanic. No snow can ever take hold here in the Vale. For a little old lady who carries winter on her back wherever she goes, it's the one place something like that can be hidden.
Your hiding place doesn't seem to be working out too well.
Kick an elderly woman while she's down, why don't you? Your mother would be so ashamed to see you carrying on in this way. In my day, we used to eat our young for such insolence.
I warned you that she would be icy. So please, unless you wish to barrel like Hoku through any potentially informative discussion, use some discretion. My teeth may not be as sweet as your tongue, and they are sharper. I will be quiet. Now, madam, my allies here meant no offense. They were merely commenting on your choice of sanctuary and its drawbacks.
Is that so? Bah, you're right. It's more heat than I can bear, and it's still too little to cover my tracks. Froze the ground before I could duck into this place.
If someone were to melt away the snow and ice outside this mine, would that be helpful?
I suppose it might. The witches might think I'd left, perhaps turn their attention elsewhere. But who would do such a thing? No one wants to help a hag. We're so old and ugly, a burden on society. We should hurry up and die, alone and unloved.
I need your help defeating a powerful being of fire. I'll hide evidence of your presence in trade.
Yes, I know this fiend. Passed him by on my way here. Dreadful thing, all that creepy chanting and mumbling. I have an item, very useful, I suppose. I could be convinced to part with it. That is, of course, if you're willing to help.
Consider it done, then.
Bless you, child. What a nice surprise from such an ill-mannered guest. You'll need to burn away any trace of ice or snow outside of this mine. I should think just about any source of fire will suffice. Once that's done, tell the witches by the red tree that you saw me leave. I'll have a gift waiting for you when you return, and hopefully that'll give me time to clean some of this frightful mess.
Of course. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, I just want to look around. Useful scrolls. And there's a few things in here, too. Oh dear, another Orglash. Kill it!
Die by my hand.
Alright, there's a gold pile here. Got a fair bit of gold. Kaji, if you don't mind detrapping and then unlocking that glass counter. That was not detrapping. That was horrible. And success is not possible. Alright, bash it open. And we got Fulmara's Emerald. Let's see here. You recall the story of the beautiful Rashemi Ranger Fulmara Murnieta, killed over 2 centuries ago by a red wizard. It is said that her husband's last gift to her before his own demise several years before her was a perfectly cut emerald. According to legend, her spirit remains in the Immel Vale, kidnapping men that remind her of her husband. Fulmara is seemingly a benevolent spirit, returning her victims years later, completely unscathed and looking as youthful as before. If one believes all of the stories they hear in Rashemi taverns and lodges, one would think that half the nation's men have been taken by Fulmara at some point in their lives. Bonus to intelligence. Use improved mage armor, lesser spell mantle, and weapon of impact. Interesting. Why is my con lower? I don't care for that. I must have been cursed or something. Hopefully a rest will get rid of it, but that's going to have to wait. Not like that. Not at all. But still. Throw that in there. Okay. So... You know what? This episode has gone on about long enough. I'm going to end this episode here. Next episode, we'll go out, take care of this for the hag, and, I mean, why not? She doesn't seem hostile or anything. She's just staying here. We'll take care of it, and then report in and do all that, and then investigate that stone. That'll be in the next episode. So, until then, I'm Chester44. That is Travis Ignam, Ganiev, Sophia, Oku, and Kaji. This has been a Let's Play of Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer.